Muévete en el espejo, muévete en el espejo, enamórate del... I'm ready. I'm ready for the episode where Will talks the most. We love to hear from Will. I have a lot of notes. We're probably not going to get to everything, but we can get to some. Okay, the first thing is Kellogg's CEO says we should eat cereal for dinner since we can't afford anything else. And he literally got on the news and was like, think of the cost of cereal for dinner. And there's even a commercial, I'll put it in this clip, of having cereal for dinner. So that's what stage of capitalism we're in.
I eat cereal for dinner.
I eat cereal for dinner all the time, but I don't tell nobody about it. I'm not going to invite somebody over for dinner and give them cereal. And give them cereal.
You would save a lot of money.
That shit is crazy. And then, like, along those lines, too, I saw that Target is going to start having a line of essentials. So, like toothpaste, I don't know, stuff that you need. Phone chargers, all this kind of stuff. Hair brushes, probably hair products, lotions, all that stuff for $1. Right? So you're gonna put it, you know, when you walk into the Target and there's all that stuff for like $5, $3. So apparently there's gonna be a whole line of essentials for $1. But I think that stuff is gonna be really carcinogenic. Like there's gonna be a lot of heavy chemicals in that stuff, or obviously it's gonna be defective. Or there's going to be something wrong with it. I just don't trust it. I feel like there's going to be a catch. Same thing with the cereal for dinner. If you look up the rates of colon cancer in young adults, like older Gen Zers.
No, I think Gen Z is the younger people.
Gen Z is the little younger.
Damn, I forgot what Mel told me she was.
She's an alpha something.
Yeah, that's what the...
Yeah, she's like the alpha.
She wasn't lying.
No, she wasn't.
Shut up, you just made that up.
She's Gen Alpha, that younger generation.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun to watch. Because it's going to be the super smart kids against all the iPad kids. I can't wait for that generation. Okay, so Gen Z and then millennials. Older Gen Zers and millennials have heightened rates of colon cancer. And they keep saying they don't know what it is, right? They don't know why. I was actually reading an article last night about colon cancer, and I was like, why is there an uptick of colon cancer in the younger generations? This article that came out in Yale Medicine in January 2024, so last month, it says nobody knows for sure why colon cancer numbers are rising in young people. That's a lie. Sedentary lifestyle, overweight and obesity, smoking, heavy alcohol use, low fiber, high fat diets, or diets high in processed meats and other environmental factors have all been associated with the disease. Family history of colon cancer and conditions such as IBS are also risk factors. So like my generation, I know we grew up eating like a lot of top ramen, a lot of processed foods, a lot of chips. Now the cereal. Now they're telling you eat cereal for dinner, and there's already like high colon cancer rates in our age group. Same with the Target stuff. I feel like all of these things, they're pushing it because it's cheaper, but it's also really unhealthy. I feel like it's like you're either homeless or you're dead, or you're just super, super unhealthy in the life that you can afford. So we have to find a way out. I was doing some research on colon cancer because it's in my generation is having it the most, and I feel like I'm at risk because of my upbringing, because of where I grew up, because the kind of food I was eating when I was younger. So there is studies and there is a conversation about it being the silent killer of our generation because of the processed food, but also because we don't move around a lot. If you do admin work, or if you have a job where you're sitting down a lot, like if you're a driver or you work in an office and all the movement you get is like from your seat to the coffee, or like your seat to your car, and you're sitting in your car for hella long, that's really bad for your colon. So you have to make sure you're exercising, you're drinking enough water, you're leveling out. If you drink a lot of sugary drinks or you drink alcohol, that you're drinking enough water and hydrating your body. High fiber diet, right? So like chia seeds, apples, carrots, anything that's hard, a fruit, anything that's not in a crinkly wrapper is going to be good for you. And also gut health, right? So having a clean gut is really important. I feel like in this country that we don't do parasite cleansing, and any other country you go to, they do parasite cleansing. I remember in Mexico, there was this story of this girl, and I was really little. So when I lived in Mexico, I was like 3 years old, so I didn't see it for myself, but I would hear it over and over when we would eat a lot of candy, or when like we just had, like when there's one thing that you always eat and you like crave it a lot. Apparently this girl loved pink conchas. It was like her favorite sweet of all time. And they do this parasite cleanse where you sit on top of a bucket of milk, and the parasite likes the milk and wants the milk. So it comes out of your butt. And the parasite will go after, like you sit in the bucket and the parasite is like attracted to the milk. So it just comes out of your butt. And she had a big pink parasite that came out of her butt. And apparently after the parasite comes out, you don't have cravings anymore. Because the parasite, you have a big yerba mate parasite in your butt right now. So in this country, we do parasite cleanses for cattle, for your cows, for your dogs, right? When you get a dog, they clean all the parasites out and stuff like that, but we don't do it for humans. And apparently they're like, we don't need it because the food is clean, there's no bacteria in our food, all of our, like the milk and the eggs are pasteurized, so you don't need it. Yes, the fuck you do. You do need it. Like, we all need it. Everyone not everyone, but if you eat sushi, if you're eating raw fish, if you're eating a lot of dairy, if you have a craving that you're like, man, I always crave this, that's probably a parasite. And it literally controls your life. Like, think of all the decisions you make because you're craving something. Like, you'll go the other way on your way home. You'll take the long way to pick up a blue yerba mate. You take the long way home to pick up something that you're craving, or like you spend a little bit more money every day to satisfy that craving. And ultimately it's the parasite, because your natural body does not crave heavy sugars. Your natural body does not crave red meat. Anything that's going to dehydrate your body or is going to deteriorate the lining in your stomach, your body does not naturally crave it. Anything that's going to destroy your teeth, your body does not naturally crave it. So a lot of that is just parasites living in your gut. Not to mention the microplastics. So,
Are you gonna show videos of milk, the little project?
I could find it. I remember when
Naked, or the parasite's powerful and it was really nice.
ripped through the Carhartts. Sheesh. Oh, dang. No, there was a trend on TikTok where people were taking parasite cleanses, and this lady said that they were coming out of the palms of her hand. Like a big pinworm just came out of the palm of her hand. And I've done a parasite cleanse before, and you see it in the toilet. Like, it's like little worms, and they all come out. And you should do it, I would say, at least once a year, because it's really harsh. In Mexico, see? But they say because, in Mexico, the food is not as clean. But here, it's not clean either. Here...
Never come from Mexico.
Or like you go to the taco truck, you tell me that food is clean.
Do you remember the commercial, the Si sientes que te pica? And it was a commercial about that?
It was a parasite commercial. Because little kids get it a lot. Like kids that have like mouth, foot, butt disease. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? How the little kids will get like, there's this disease, it's called like mouth foot disease. And basically they get it from like itching in their butt and then putting their hand in their mouth. You have it, Chewy? It's called like hand foot butt disease. But anyways, these things happen. I think we should be more aware. And not to mention all the microplastics. I feel like now that I know about microplastics, I'm like more aware of like all the things happening in my body. I mean, obviously you can't like be so focused that you don't live your life, right? Like have a Cheeto, be for real. But I think we have to just be more conscious of those things. And colon cancer being something that's super serious that can literally kill you, I think should be more of a conversation for young people. Now onto some more fun stuff. Enough about parasites coming out of your butt. Enough about the pink concha paras. Enough about the blue yerba mate parasite.
Fuck it.
Cheers. Okay, so dude, last week this woman, Risa Tisa, took the internet by storm. She has a 50-part series on TikTok. And basically, her series is called Who the Fuck Did I Marry? Have you guys seen that? So it's basically this woman, and I saw the like the spark notes of the 50-part series. And basically, she married a pathological liar. This guy lied to her from the beginning of their relationship, and he's still lying to this day because he made his own videos. But he lied to her a lot. Like he would basically make like fake bank statements to say that that's how much money he had in the bank, but really it was just like he was printing them out from off the internet, like editing them and printing them out. He'd be on phone calls with his family, but really like it would be with nobody. He just lied to her a lot. And she made this 50-part series about being with him. And I personally don't have like the patience, but I saw people watching it like in the nail shop. Somebody was tweeting, this girl I know was tweeting that she's like, this is the third time I fall asleep watching this woman's 50-part TikTok series, because I feel like people really wanted to know what was going on. She acquired 1.6 million followers in a couple of days. So I don't know how many followers she had before, but right now she's at she might be at more now than 1.6. And there's over 200 million views on all of her videos. Every video is over 10 minutes. So I think that she really blew a lot of content creators out of the water, because if you have 1.6 million followers, 200 million views over all of your videos, 50 videos, and every video is over 10 minutes, that's like, man, that's analytics through the roof. Like, can you imagine? I saw this creator did the math, and she basically broke it down, and I can put her video, I can add her video in this clip, but she basically broke it down like and had like very modest numbers, and her estimate is that she made $82,840 about for that. But if you think about it, that's a lot of labor. I mean, that's a lot of money. But it's not like she did it from like laying in her bed, just like, you know, or just from OnlyFans, from laying in her bed. No, she didn't do it. It wasn't easy is what I mean. Because she's telling all her business. Now she's super famous for that, right? Because of drama. And it took her hella long, probably. I think it's like 4 or 5 hours long. Like all the TikToks, 4 or 5 hours long. And she's just talking, showing receipts, everything. But she made $82,000. Or maybe more. I don't know. I thought that was crazy. And I don't know. I wonder if that's gonna make like a shift in like the way that social media moves. Because I feel like she moved the needle on a lot of things. Like TikTok will be like, we want longer videos that's in what do you call it, landscape mode, right? So then now all you got all these content creators making landscape videos that are like 7 minutes long, and it's about whatever. But this is like this lady, she's looks hella normal. She's not teaching you nothing. She's not giving you information like that can help. Well, I guess she can help you to spot a liar, but then also she wasn't very proactive on like catching him in his lie, you know? He literally printed out the bank statement. It was like the first Google search image of a bank statement. So it's not like she was like going and like looking for clues of him lying. She kind of just believed what he said. Right? So she's not like teaching you how to put your makeup on. She's not doing like a exercise routine. She's not teaching you how to cook anything. She's literally just like telling you her business for 5 hours straight. And she made $82,000. And she didn't have to be on Real Housewives or nothing like that. So I thought that was crazy. And I don't know. I wonder if more people will like try their hand at it. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about people like feeling very sorry for themselves online or sharing how miserable they are. Like I saw that a lot after Valentine's Day. There were so many like miserable married women, and they're like, my husband didn't bring me flowers for Valentine's Day. We've been married for 40 years. He's never got me nothing for Valentine's Day. It's like, what is the point of that? I guess for other equally miserable people to be like, okay, my life's not that bad because this lady's been married for 40 years and she's never got flowers. So misery loves company or something. They need to start listening to Share 7 Sprinkle Sprinkle. Instead of listening to the miserable ladies, you gotta unfollow the miserable ladies and listen to Share 7. Okay, and then another creator, this lady, Ashley Lynn, 6 days ago, right? She posted a video and she was like, my job cut my pay and I can't pay my bills. And she wasn't feeling sorry for herself. It's actually like a really funny video. And she's like dancing and she's like, I can't feed my cat. And it's like really hysterical and really engaging. And she's like, I can't pay my rent. And I can't pay my expensive car note. And she made that video and it went viral. Then she made another video and it went viral. And she keeps making these videos. And she's not dressed up. She's not doing exercise routine. She's not putting her makeup on. She's not doing nothing. But the second video she did do calls to action. So she's like, interact with this content so I can get, how much money do you need on TikTok so they could pay you like 10,000 followers or something like that?
I think it's a million views on a 1 minute video or more or longer.
So she was like, get me to 10,000 followers. That was her call to action. She was like, get me to 10,000 followers so that TikTok can pay me. Send me money on my Venmo. I'm not above asking, you know? So she's like, she's asking for help, but she's also just like being very cynical about her situation that her job cut her wages. This girl went from 3,000 followers to 30,000 followers. And I feel like now TikTok is sending her money. And her videos keep getting funnier and funnier. Funnier and funnier. And I feel like that's the perfect example of just living in your privilege and figuring it out. The lady, what is her name? Risa Tisa, I feel like hers was more cathartic because she had a bad situation happen to her and she shared it. She opened up. So I feel like you get a different response from that kind of thing. And obviously it's like 5 hours long. But this girl, and that's also privilege, right? And she's privileged enough to have a cell phone. She's privileged enough to have 5 hours to spare. She's privileged enough to know how to use tech and upload it to TikTok. This girl is using her privilege of being like somewhat funny and having access to TikTok and knowing how to edit her video to look engaging. So I'm like, is this how people are gonna get the bag? Like, is this how we stay not homeless? Like, is this the new way, like, to hustle? Like, are people gonna stop selling drugs and just go online and be like, I need to pay my bills and just do something like really funny. I don't know.
We should test it out. Okay.
We should test it out.
At the end of every video.
Huh?
So you can put it at the end of every video.
Put what?
Just engage with this video.
Just one bill.
Tell them right now. Be like,
We're gonna pay one of my bills. Yeah. Let's see if it works. No, I'm not as funny as those people. Also, I feel like you have to be very fucking shameless. Like, she's really shameless. Like, even when I come here, I feel like when I look crazy, I'd rather stay home because I don't want everybody to see me looking crazy. She's on there, 30,000 followers, just dancing in her room with her cat. Like, she doesn't care. Well, actually, in one of her videos, she's like, I'm getting really shy. There's a lot of you here. But then she just kept dancing. She just kept dancing and kept it going. So, I don't know. All these creators are getting super personal, I think. And it's stripping away the need to be like very prepared or very knowledgeable or very, I don't know, like informational to get popular. I feel like even, I don't know, when you sound dumber, I feel like people like it more than if you sound super smart. Because then I feel like they have to turn their brain on to listen to you. And then it's a different kind of demographic that wants to interact with your content than if you're just like super easy to digest. But then it gives you colon cancer. All the processed food. It's bad for your brain. That's a colon cancer content. The processed food content. No, but I love me some dumb content. Okay, my favorite ever recently is Gucci Pineapple. Gucci Pineapple, when you watch his videos, is like you're taking your brain out and just putting it in a warm tub of water. Like, you don't have to think. It's hysterical. He's so easy on the ears. He looks like an angel. He's like not offensive at all. I love him so much. Gucci Pineapple, if you're watching this, I love you. Come visit me, CAILE. I wanna show you guys the video of the girl with her cat, just so you can see what I'm talking about. Dude, I had all of these bookmarks, and then you kicked me off of the TikTok, and I couldn't access them.
My job just cut my pay.
You said what?
he's on there on live by himself on TikTok.
That's because I. Okay, look.
Like swaggy downtown apartment, and I just want to say that I cannot afford it. I can no longer afford to live here.
Like, why is that so good?
My expensive car payment next month, or any month after that. I can't afford to feed my cats. They're gonna die.
Look, on a t-shirt. You see how she's not sad about it? Remember that guy with his girlfriend? Oh my God, and I keep seeing that guy with his girlfriend that lived in the storage unit. Bruh, I don't know why I ever interacted with his content because now he keeps coming up on my stuff. Oh my God, it makes me sick to my stomach to watch him and his girlfriend. So I guess they cut them off. So they had this GoFundMe. They had $3,000 in the GoFundMe. And so, I don't know, something. And then they were living in this hotel. And the person who was paying for the hotel was like, you're good. There's $3,000 in your GoFundMe. You don't need my help. And they're like, we're saving the GoFundMe money to buy an RV. So why would we touch the money? We're trying to be responsible. It's like, if you're responsible, go get a fucking job. And people are like, why are they paying for migrants to be here and give them room and board? And these are American citizens and they don't want to help them. It's like, because they're able-bodied and they could speak English and they don't need help. They can literally just go to work. They can literally just go to work. Oh my God, it's so disturbing. What's wrong with him? I think, well, he said that he's always gotten fired from all his jobs. But I feel like if you can't work a 9 to 5, then you just have to figure it out and figure something out to do like in the meantime, but he doesn't have that in him. I also think they're just doing it to go viral. I think that's the ultimate goal. I don't even think the goal is to be financially stable. I think he thinks that he can just go viral, make money from being viral, but he has a lot. I don't know. We'll see what happens to him.
You know, Kill Tony, this dude went on there, he was like 500 or 400 pounds. You seen that one? And he hella sucked. But then he was like, oh, I could get a surgery to get all my weight off, but I'm broke. And they were like, how much does it cost? And he was like, oh, $60,000. And then they were like, all right, well, we're gonna start a GoFundMe. And I checked the GoFundMe and they made him like $120,000.
Dang. That's hella tight. I wonder if he already is like getting ready to do the surgery.
He better.
He's just gonna keep it and go gambling.
Film that shit so we could see it. We paid for that shit.
We paid for it, didn't donate $1 to the GoFundMe.
I watched Kill Tony. It's all of us. Yeah.
I wish Kevin was here for this next part, but I know I was gonna tell you to invite him over here. So there's a class action lawsuit right now that was placed on Valentine's Day, ironically, against Hinge, Tinder, Match. So 6 people got together and they filed a class action lawsuit against the dating sites. And basically the claim is that the dating sites are designed to create a it's like gambling basically, and it's not really to find mates or matches. It's just to keep going on the app and to keep spending money to see the matches. I've never seen like a subscription where you pay, but you have to be deep in the game. Because I know more guys obviously than girls. Well, maybe some girls, I don't know. Pay for the subscriptions, and then you pay to send like little gifts or roses or something. And apparently the nature of the app was like gambling type. So the people got together, they filed this lawsuit, and it's an active lawsuit right now. So it's actually like a relief, because I feel like a lot of people have felt like that. I've seen a lot of videos of people complaining like, am I ugly? Like, is there something wrong with me? Why can't I find like anything online? Realistically, only like 10% to 50% of couples meet online. I've met people who met online. Like my best friend, she had a boyfriend. She met them on OkCupid and then dated him for a long time. I'm trying to think of anyone else. I don't think I met anyone else that has an online boyfriend. Like Napoleon Dynamite's brother. Chandra. But it's so real, because I feel like even how Kevin said that he had to pay $15 to see the matches, right? And it's like, if you're so desperate, well, not desperate, that's kind of foul. But if you're so interested, let me take that back. Not desperate, just very interested. But not someone that, I mean, Kevin has other girlfriends, right? So he doesn't care. But if there's people, just kidding, he only has one. It's like static. Cut. I told you don't talk about that. No, but if there's someone who's like really dedicated to finding a match, they're gonna go the extra mile, right? And if you're putting these paywalls up, because I did notice that, like, because I've been on, I don't remember what it was. I think it was Hinge or something like that. And basically there's this paywall where it's like the hottest singles are in that like private section where you can only see it once a day. And then you only get like a certain amount of swipes. So it is very like gambling type. Like the app is designed kind of like you're gambling. And then it does ask you to pay, I think. I don't remember. I was on that shit for 5 days, like COVID. On the 5th day, I deleted it. It was just so overwhelming. And there's nobody really on there. I feel like it's all single dads. I feel like it's just single dads on there. Or like some, I don't know. But I want to know what happens with the lawsuit. And I hope they fucking sue the shit out of them and get hella money from them. Because I know that they've taken so much money from people that literally just want love. And I think that society creates these really antisocial people because of technology, because of social norms, because of the wage gaps, because of the things that are expected, like how you're expected to look or act or sound. I don't know. I think the younger generations, like what is that generation Alpha? They're more inclusive. They're like the complete opposite of, I feel like, what our generation was like. Because I feel like when I was younger, like it was popular to be anorexic. Like Kate Moss was the most famous model in the world. I know like girls my age you had a phase where you wanted to be like blonde. And I'm really glad that that's over with now. There's more representation in the media and stuff like that. But I feel like there's a lot of expectations for people, and it's really sad. Like the whole dating app thing. You want to be blonde?
I wanted to.
You wanted to when you were younger? But remember that stingray with the shark baby? She hasn't had her babies yet. The Messiah stingray. And then like as time goes on, they're like, that she cannot mate with sharks. Like there's no way. It's physically, it's maybe it's kidney stones. She drank too many yerba mates. Maybe it's a she just has a pink concha parasite, guys. No, okay, so the research I've done is apparently if the sharks have a lot of pheromones that they're releasing, her own what are those called? Hormones. They react as if she's pregnant, and then she does get pregnant. So like she literally impregnated herself, and she'll be the first stingray to ever do that. But apparently, is a stingray an amphibian? Amphibians do that. Can do that. It's possible. Oh no. It says they're to be vertebrates. Vertebrates. I don't know what that means. But hopefully she has her baby soon. It's funny because she's just like swimming around in her tank. She has no idea that the entire nation is waiting for the birth of her pups. I can't wait. Okay. I literally just figured out, okay, this is what I was thinking about last night that I thought would be cool to bring up, is that we started this podcast in September, right? When was our launch date? September 22nd? Was it August or September? I think it was like September 22nd, right? And sometimes I look and I'm like, dude, we've been doing this for so long. Like we've sat there for so many hours, and like this is a lot already. And then I'm like, I literally just figured out how to upload to Instagram on the highest quality yesterday. Like yesterday was the first time I uploaded highest quality. Yes, and then the other day was when I uploaded to Spotify. So this is still like such a new project. We're only on our 8th episode on YouTube, and like when I started my brand, Babyface Dream Girl, it was in 2019. That was 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And I've done so much stuff since then. Like I've tried my hand at so many things under the umbrella of my brand. And like in comparison to 4 years or 5 years, 6 months is like nothing. Is that, has it been 6 months? It's like September, October, November, December, January. Yeah, 6 months is nothing in the grand scheme. And then if you think of like really, really successful brands or projects or businesses, they've been around for 10, 20, 30 years. Sometimes you don't even pop till like way, way, way later, and you're every time you start something, like your first business will always be that, your first business. You're gonna have so many businesses after your first one. I'm sure like everybody, even everyone here, right? Like you started doing something that you're either not doing anymore or you are doing it, but you're also doing like 10 other things. So it really put things into perspective of like how young and how we're just starting out with this. And even though there's been so much change since the beginning, like it's almost embarrassing when I watch the interviews back, because we started releasing the interviews again and I've been watching them back and I'm like, dude, I was so I was so nervous. I was so scared. Like those first few times I was so scared. And I can tell I'm scared, right? And Will would be like, you just have to do it till you're not scared anymore. And now I don't really feel that scared. Sometimes I do get nervous because I know that I sound kind of stupid, but I can't help it. I was born like this. I know that my speech isn't the best. I know that I have broken English. Like, you're just going to have to deal with it. But that really encouraged me when I look back and I'm like, dang, even though it's such a new project, it's still, I feel really accomplished in everything we've done. And I hope that motivates more people to keep going. And even if it feels like nothing's happening, I feel like there's days where like nothing's happening. And I'm like, is this a mistake? Should I just go back to school? Should I just get a job? No, I'm just kidding. But that was really motivating. And then realizing how I literally just figured out how to upload so that it's not blurry. I was like, okay, I'm still like a baby at this. Even though I've been doing other things for so long, this is something that is brand new to me. So I couldn't do it without the help of all of Sesame Street. Without the help of all my friends. Okay, so this is the last thing I have. Wait, let me talk about one more thing and then I'll go to the last thing. I've been doing tarot readings on my Instagram stories for people that like, I'll put up a little question and then people will send their question. I'll put up the little box and then people will type in their question and I'll pull cards for them, right? And I've done like 2 major ones in the last few months, in the last couple months. And it'll be literally like 14 questions back to back. And I'll just like thug it out because I want to, and I love connecting with my community that way. And I feel like it keeps me sharp. Obviously, it's not going to land every single time. Like, not every reading could be a banger. But for the most part, I feel like the message has been very consistent for this season. And I feel like the biggest message that I've gotten recently is that a lot of things are not accessible without your community. A lot of things you won't be able to reach if you don't have the right people around you. And sometimes we're in situations where, unfortunately, you don't have access to the people that you really want to be around. Maybe it's where you live or where you grew up, or maybe you had to move from your original environment somewhere else, and you feel like when you look around, you're like, these are not the people I want to be around. We don't all have the privilege to have a strong, supportive, loving, inclusive community, and I understand that. But certain things are not available to you and you can't access them if you don't have a community. So the message was read books and get acquainted with those authors and consider that author a part of your community. Go on YouTube and watch videos and get acquainted with those creators. You can have an online community, and that could be somebody that you interact with on a daily basis. And you literally just figure out a way to open up your perspective and not feel isolated. Because I feel like there is times when God isolates us in order to elevate, right? Like everybody knows that when you have something really big coming up, sometimes God will remove you from certain environments and you have to isolate. And in that same way, there is seasons for you to be around other people, and there is seasons for you to grow from your experience in community. And I really feel that for, at least for my community right now, it's really important to be around, whether that's like your romantic partners, whether that's your friends, whether that's your family. Having a strong community around you right now is really important. And I really feel like it's because there's so much chaos and calamity happening on a really great scale, and sometimes it's hard to digest and deal with it in isolation. And honestly, you shouldn't have to. So my advice would be literally read books, go on YouTube, find creators that motivate you, go on wherever, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Reddit, maybe not Reddit, maybe not 4chan. Maybe don't watch Kill Tony. Just kidding. Go on Temu. Literally go on TikTok. Go and find your community and find ways to relate and identify and understand that feeling appreciated, feeling celebrated, feeling supported is necessary. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it's very, very important. So that was just the message that I had that I wanted to share. Okay, now to the good part. I'm just kidding. That was the good part. So I was out the other day, and I talked to Will about this already. I was out and I was with my friend, right? Okay, let's just start there. I was out. I was having a girls' night with one of my best friends, right? So, you know, when you're having a girls' night, you're just like in this mood. You're just like, I don't know, at least for me, when I have a girls' night, I like to get dressed up. I like to go and we're like spending money. It's like your best self, and your girlfriend brings out the best self in you. So I was out. I was having dinner at this restaurant in downtown Oakland. And I was like talking with my friend. We were laughing. We were like having a great night. And I kept seeing this guy like in the corner of my eye, right? So whenever I'd look up, I could see him like looking at me. And I was like, okay, he's whatever. Like he's looking over here. Maybe I caught his attention because I'm laughing really loud. Maybe he wants me to shut up. I don't know. I didn't know. I couldn't really feel the vibe at first. But then we were there for kind of a long time, and I could see him looking at me. So I was like, okay, this guy's checking me out. And I didn't really pay him no mind. I just kept talking to my friend. And then he got up to leave. And when he got up to leave, he came and he brought me his receipt with his phone number on it, on the back of the receipt. And I said his name and his phone number. And I was like, this is really promising because the area code is like from out of state. And I personally don't like to date locally because I feel like it's just a recipe for disaster. Like if it doesn't go well and you have to run into this person, or then what if it does go well and he's like, and that person already dated like one of your cousins or something, you know? I just feel like dating locally, it's always a recipe for disaster. I just don't prefer it. So I was like, okay, this is kind of promising. He was like handsome, but I only saw him for like 3 seconds. I saw him from across the restaurant, but when he came up to me, I only saw him like 3 seconds. And he's like, what's your name? And I told him, and I looked at him briefly, but then he left really fast. So I was like, I didn't really get a good look at him. And then the next day I was hungover, so I didn't really feel like texting him. And then the next day I was working on something all day, so I didn't have time to really like engage. So on the third day, Jesus rose. Just kidding. I have Bible brain. That's how you Bible brain. That's how my brain works. Plus a lot of ADHD. So on the third day I text him. And I was like, hey, it's Gabriela. What's up? And he was like, oh, hey, I don't know if I was going to hear from you. So he sounded like happy to hear from me, right? So I was like, okay, this is cool. Okay, first red flag, green text bubble. He has an Android. He either, okay, no, listen. He either has an Android or he's not using his iMessage, which is sneaky as fuck. Because if you're not using your iMessage, that means maybe your phone's connected to your laptop and then your baby mom could see it. Or maybe your phone's connected to anything, right? Because your iMessage is connected to your iCloud. So his text bubble was green, first red flag. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I need to stop being such a bitch. This is why nobody talks to me, because I'm really judgmental. But you have to understand that I'm judgmental because I hold the same judgment against myself. So I was like, all right, whatever. I kept texting him. I was like, no, I texted him the first time. I was like, hey, it's Gabriela. Then he texted me this. He's like, hey, I didn't know if I was going to hear from you. And then I didn't text him back anymore because I just got busy. Like I don't know. I just didn't, honestly, I didn't have the energy to like engage in a text message conversation. So then I was talking to my friend and I was like, you know what? I don't know. Like, I don't know about, if I should like pursue this. I'm not sure. And I don't feel like right now I have like the capacity for that kind of company and stuff like that, or like those kind of conversations, like what's your favorite color, how many siblings. I don't want to. So I was like, I don't think so. I don't want to talk to this guy, but maybe I do. I don't know. Literally while I was having that conversation, he texted me and he was like, hey, what's up? Like I had, cause I hadn't texted back. And I was like, okay, maybe we're in sync because he heard me talking about him, right? So I was like, all right, I'm going to text him back. So I started texting him. Girl, he is so boring. Like, so boring. And he would not ask me nothing about myself. Like, he was like, what do you like to do for fun? And I told him I have a podcast. And he didn't ask me what it was about. He didn't ask me to watch it, nothing. I was like, he doesn't care about me. That's how I flirt. Do you care about my podcast? Do you care about my podcast career? No, so he didn't ask me nothing about myself. Second red flag. Then he tells me he works for the San Francisco Police Department. Fourth red flag. No, and then he says he works cleaning up graffiti. I was like, no. I was like, that's like, no, right? No. I was like, no. So lots of red flags with this guy. And I was like, you know what? I don't like talking to this person. Like, I don't think there's a lot of compatibility. Mind you, we only texted for 3 days. Okay. So then he's not making plans. He's not like, when can I take you out? I'm waiting for him to be like, when can I see you? What should we do? Can I take you out? Nothing. He's like, my cousins are in town right now from Alabama. He's from Alabama. So then on the second day, okay, mind you, the second day he's like, good morning. Why are you texting me good morning? Like, I don't know you. I literally saw him for 3 seconds. Like, why does he think about me as soon as he opens his eyes? I don't know. Or maybe he got that roster going. Remember we were talking about how there's the roster? How every morning they just text different bitches good morning? I don't know. So he's like, good morning, wants to talk straight out of his sleep. I'm like, bruh, do you have anything else going on? And then he's like, okay, that was another, how many red flags so far? I think that was like 6 red flags, right? So then second day, I didn't really like talk to him a lot that day, but he goes, send me a photo of you. And I was like, this is my Instagram and there's lots of photos of me on there. You could go ahead and look there. And then he's like, I haven't had social media for 5 years. 10th red flag, bitch. What do you mean you don't have social media? Honestly, I don't know. How do you guys feel about people that don't have social media? Do you think that's a red flag?
The cops?
He probably has a fake page.
He has a fake page or something, right?
He's looking up sideshows on the weekends.
To go pull up, to go swing his car. I'm just kidding. So,
No, I don't know. I feel like it could be a good thing or a bad thing because some people do really want to stay off the media as far as like for themselves, or it could be a bad thing like they don't want to be seen because they're doing, like you said, like sneaky shit, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But I can see it could be either way. It just depends on the person. Me personally.
Yeah. What do you think, Will?
He's a cop.
He's not a cop.
He don't want us to see his face.
I saw his face. I know what he looks like, and I have his phone number. Maybe it's a G. Maybe it's a G voice phone number. What do you think? What do you guys think? What do you think about people with no social media?
I do think some people they take social media cleanses, but I could see what you're saying too, how it could be a red flag as well.
I think it's a red flag because, like, okay, before, back in the day, you go to the town square, right? And then people talk highly about you in the town square. Or you go somewhere and they're like, you get to see them in a social setting. And if people react to them positively, then that's a good sign, right? But we don't have that anymore. Now we have social media. So you go on social media and you see if a lot of people support this person, if he has a good family life, if he's social, if he's creative, if he's negative, you know? So if you don't have social media, you don't have that kind of like, I don't know, there's also like a disconnect, I feel like, because I feel like other people, people that I've dated, and you're on social media, like you can send each other memes. They know you're crazy, you know, like, like I feel like if he saw my Instagram, he would know who he's talking to. Then he wouldn't have been so bootsy the entire time I talked to him. He would have known that he's boring to me. So that to me was a red flag. On the second day, also, he was like, I don't have social media. I was like, do you have kids? And then he said, yes, I have a kid. He's 1 year old. That was another red flag because why didn't you just bring up your child on the first conversation? Like, are you not obsessed with your child? Like, are you not like so happy to have a kid? Why didn't you just bring this up? Like, this is who I am. I have one kid. So I was like, do you ever consider getting back with your baby mom? I always ask people that when they tell me they have kids. I tell them, are you married? And do you ever consider getting back with your baby mom? He said, no, I'm not doing that third, fourth time around. So he's talking shit about his baby mom. Also that, if I want to date you, I don't want to hear how much you hate your baby mom. Like, I feel like you should only say positive things about the woman who gave you your child. Unless she tried to kill you or something like that, right? Like, unless she did something really bad or like set you up or like sent you to jail or like, I don't know, had sex with your brother, then you're like, okay, yeah, I understand. But if she just gave you a kid and then didn't want to be with you, then why is that bad? You know, maybe she was onto something. So that was another red flag. By this time, I'm like really over this guy. And then he asked me, this is like the cherry on top of the cake. Then he asked me, do you live alone? I was like, no, do you? And he's like, I do. And I just stopped texting him. I was like, this sounds like the beginning of a true crime documentary. I'm like, this is my true crime. This is my intro to true crime. So I stopped interacting with him. And then, but girl, lo and behold, that morning after, good morning, beautiful. I'm like, this motherfucker don't stop. I was like, oh my God. I was like, hey, what's up? What's going on? Like, can I do something for you? He was like, oh, I'm just, like trying to update me. I don't care. Then he goes, my cousins are leaving. He was like, I don't have friends in the Bay Area. My only friends are home in Alabama, right? And I was like, dang, you've been here 6 years and you don't have any friends? That's crazy. And you said what? Red flag. Like so many red flags with this guy. And I was already sick of him, right? Like 3 days, imagine. So I was like, damn, you already have, I'm like, it's been 6 years, you haven't made any friends? And he was like, no, because I don't have memories with them. Okay, I'm gonna find this text message that I sent him.
Let's go.
Alright, take back the social media thing. I do think it's a red flag.
Red flag, right?
Alright, I'll say if there's other red flags associated with it, like 10, like you just said.
Yeah.
I do think it's a red flag.
I think, okay, I'll get into another story after this, but this is what I text him. I said, oh, he did make he made a vague plan once in the second day conversation, and he was like, what do you like to do? And I was like, honestly, I forgot what I said. Because he said, what do you like to do? I said, I have a podcast. And then he goes, what do you like to eat? And I was like, I'm not a picky eater, but these are the things I like. And he goes, okay, maybe we can hit the lake. And I'm like, do you want to go on a jog? Like, why would we hit the lake? Right? Do you want to go feed the ducks? Like, what are you doing at the lake? My boyfriend be running that lake. I can't go over there with you. My healthy boyfriend be over there, girl, not that lake. So then he didn't really make plans with me. Like, he's not asking me out, nothing. So that after he said he don't have no friends in the Bay Area, I was like, hey, look, this is a lot of texting. And so far, the only plans you mentioned to me is to walk the lake. I don't think there's a lot of compatibility so far. So I feel like that let him down easy. Like, I wasn't like, you suck. I just said, I don't think we're compatible because you text a lot. Like, you're texting me a lot. And you're not asking to see me. So I don't want to do that. Then he says, women kill me sometimes with how they word things. I'm sorry that I've had family in town for the past 5 days. I said, I honestly would not even walk the lake for the first link because that's what I used to do in high school. Literally, like, if you have no money and you can't get into the bar, you don't have money enough to sit down and eat, then you go to the lake and you stare at each other. And then he asked me, how would you prefer our first link to be? I should have stopped texting him there, but I kind of wanted to tell him off really bad. I was in my petty bag that day. And I shouldn't have, I'm just going to say it now. I said a sit-down restaurant or an activity where we can talk to each other in person. This texting is like we're pen pals. And I said the fact that these things do not occur to you, but you want me to send you my photos is where the disconnect is. He said, nothing wrong with your idea of things. You do have to understand others' logic as well. What makes you think spending money will show we have a connection? That's why I offered a simple walk where shit can be organic. I said, another disconnect. Girl, what? Anyways, he said, bye, man. Another loss for you. Another loss for me, bruh. You're blowing up my fucking phone, bro, with no plans. I said, sorry, I'm not a teenager that doesn't want to walk around the lake as a date, sad face, and have long text conversations all day, every day, sad face, sad face, sad face. I'm sorry for you, right? So I was like, dude, am I the problem? Like, am I the drama? Like, is this a me problem? Like, should I have accepted him walking me around the lake like a fucking dog as a date? Like, is there something wrong with me? Because, or like, has he approached other girls and they're like, oh my God, I would love to go on a walk with you? Is that what happens? In Alabama. In Alabama, that's what they do. I don't know. I was like, what is this? So I did as I always do. And I went to my close friends list. And I was like, look, I'm not going to be judgmental, but I need you guys to tell me, like, if this is something that you accept. And I did have like some mixed, I had like mixed responses to this. I feel like some girls, so I told him, like, just tell me and I'm not going to judge you if you would accept the walking date,
Here's where you guys come in.
Okay.
Where do you draw the line? Are you gonna go on the walk on the first date? Would you go on a walk? And I really hope you bitches say no, but I can't judge. Would you go on a walk on the first date? Do you like to text a lot before you know the person? I don't know. I need your guys' feedback here. I know I did not fuck up a good thing because that guy was ghetto and cheap as fuck. And wanted to have me texting all fucking day long walk me around the lake, bitch. How you know how embarrassing that is? What if I see another one of my hot boyfriends that's running the lake, and then I'm with this fucking bum that's walking around the lake for the first time? No, bitch. Okay, I'm gonna put the little box.
Okay, so I put the little box and I got a lot of responses. My girls never disappoint. My girls never disappoint when it comes to this. And I do want to share some of these responses. So someone said, fuck no, I'm not going on a walk for the first date. He wants a free date and free pics. Okay, I don't, I wouldn't say free because I feel like free sounds like sex work and I'm not a sex worker. But I do feel like it takes more effort than just the link, you know? Like, I don't know. So she's saying no. This girl said no to the walk and don't text me too much unless it's of substance. This girl said, this convo needs to be fun and exciting. This girl said, hell nah, that would set the standard that I'm cheap and accept anything. That's what I'm saying. I feel like a lot of women are like so male centered. Like they're so obsessed with dudes, or they're so hell bent on getting a guy that they literally will just accept any fucking thing just to be with that guy. Any guy, I feel like. And it sets a bad standard and you literally just deteriorate the experience for the next person because now this person thinks it's okay to do that. And then this girl said, hell nah, I hate texting a lot. Come get me. She said, nah, first impression set up the relationship. For sure, I think for me it was like the first impression because I don't mind going to the lake if I know you for 3 months and you show me that you're not going to take me to the lake every week as a date, you know? Or I don't mind going to the, I don't know, when people were like, oh, the chocolate, or what is that called? The spaghetti place, what is it? The Cheesecake Factory. And they're like, oh, the cheap Cheesecake Factory date. It's like, I don't mind going. Literally, I will go to Taco Bell drive-thru with you. After 3 months, and after you show me that you're not just going to have me on fast food every day. Like, the first impression matters a lot. This person said, no texting before except for plan. Exactly, no texting before we hang out. She said, and I'll get coffee and stroll so I could leave if I hate the vibe. I guess that's good for just like a little hangout. And then if you don't like them, you could leave. And then you don't have to do all this extra texting. She said, but it has to be a plan. And then this other person's like, hell no. But then there was one girl that was like, I would go on the walk if it was good. And then if the vibe was good, we could go get drinks after. I don't know. I personally would not go on the walk. And this guy was weird as fuck. And it just really discourages me from dating, honestly. Because it doesn't sound good out there, girls. It sounds terrible out there. And I think that we're like in survival mode out here. We're in survival mode. Okay, for example, right? Like he saw me out with my girlfriend. I'm out there spending money. I'm dressed up. I'm in this certain vibe that I acquired because of the nature of the night out. And he sees me, he likes that. So he's like, okay, I want that from you. I want this energy from you. Why would I bring that energy to the lake? It's not the same situation. So it was terrible. I think like if you go back in history and stuff like that, it was either you're romantic or you have money. So like if you had money and you could provide, then you didn't need to be romantic, right? Because you just take care of everything and then the woman has nothing to complain about. And you just take care of her and she goes and entertains herself. And romance was for broke guys, right? Romance was for like guys that had nothing to offer but a good time and like a good laugh and were very charismatic. But it's like, bro, you have none. You're not funny. You didn't tell one funny joke. You didn't ask me about myself. And you don't want to spend no money. Like what's going on?
Let's get him on the phone.
Question mark. Should we call him? You think we should? Should we call him? That's hella funny.
No, we'll save it for the
Save it for the next cliffhanger episode. Did we call him?
them. Be like, should we call?
I don't know. That's all I got for today, guys.
That's it?
Yep, that's it.
Bye.
We never,
Full ass fucking episode.
we don't even use the goodbye.
You gotta use it now.
Bye.
That was stupid.
What? That's how I say bye. Okay, let me do it like you do. Bye.
I'm gonna do it right. Tell them. Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out with me and going through the motions of being a single girl in the Bay Area where everybody's pimps and hoes. Bitch, and I ain't never been no hoe.